Hey guys, how's it going? It's me again. I'm back here with another video. In this video, once again, we're going to be talking about more of the overframe cards revealed. Now, I already made a video on 6 of them, so I'm about halfway done. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover all of the new cards, but that's definitely what I'm going to try to do. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Red Dragon Archfiend card, which is probably one of the cards that people are the most disappointed with. The main reason why is because every other character is getting monsters, or they're getting a spell card that can act as an extender or a starter card, which is very good, but unfortunately for Red Dragon Archfiend, they did not get a combo card. They got a very weird trap card that can act as a board breaker, as weird as it sounds. If I had to describe this card, I would call it a really weird hybrid between a quick play and a continuous spell. I know that sounds very weird to say, but when you actually read the card, you're gonna see it's not really a trap card at all. Now, this card isn't the greatest in Red Dragon Archfiend, but it's not terrible either. At the very worst, you're gonna play one copy of this card because it can act as a board breaker card. This card's art also looks really cool. The card is basically Fiendish Chain restricting all the different Mirage copies of Shooting Star Dragon. Now, while this card is just pretty decent in Red Dragon Archfiend, this card is honestly insane in Kewl. I know it may not look like it on the surface, but those two archetypes actually work really well together. Some of the cards in their archetype that Red Dragon Archfiend have lock you into Dark Dragon Synchro, but a lot of the other ones lock you into Dark Synchro. Red Dragon Archfiend in their archetype has some really useful tuner monsters that Kewl can use, such as Soul Resonator and Vision Resonator. I'm gonna show you guys a really cool one card Red Dragon Archfiend Kewl combo that makes really good use of the new Red Dragon Archfiend's chain. To do this combo, you only need one card in your hand, which is gonna be Kewl Rico. However, this combo can also be done if you open with Kewl Q, but you have to structure it a bit differently. Now, to start this combo off, you're going to normal summon the Rico from your hand. Now you're going to activate the effect of Rico. When this card is normal or special summoned, you get to take a Kewl monster and add the card to your hand. However, the monster cannot be a level 3. We're going to activate this effect and get a search for Kewl Ratari. Now, all of the main deck Kewl monsters have a really unique effect. You can use a tuner monster in your hand if you synchro summon with this card on the field. That's really great because now we can use the Ratari that we search in our hand as material. Now you're going to take your Rico on the field and your Ratari in your hand to synchro summon into a level 4 monster. You're going to synchro summon Kewl Trackmaker. Now, two effects are going to activate at the same time here. The effect of Trackmaker and the effect of Ratari will activate, and you always want Ratari to be chain linked to. The reason why is because Ratari will let you look at your opponent's hand, and then you get to take a Kewl Spell or Trap and add the card to your hand. This is incredibly important because it basically gives you full knowledge on every hand trap your opponent could possibly have. In my previous combo video, I showed you guys how to play around Droll and Lockbird. It's really easy if you see that in their hand. It's also incredibly important to have Ratari as chain linked to because it tells Trackmaker what card it has to search. We're going to use the effect of Ratari here and get a search for their field spell. This is JJ Kewl. Now we're going to use the effect of Trackmaker here. We're going to add Kewl Q from our deck to our hand. Now we're going to activate JJ Kewl, and now we get another normal summon for a tuner monster during our main phase. Now, using our extra normal summon, we're going to summon the Q from our hand and activate this card's effect. You get to summon one tuner monster from your hand, deck, or grave. However, if you activate this effect this turn, for the rest of this turn you cannot summon anything except for tuner monsters. That's fine with me. We're going to activate the effect of Q here and summon Soul Resonator from our deck. Now you're going to activate the effect of Soul Resonator on summon. If this card is normal or special summoned, you get to take one level 4 Allure Fiend monster from your deck and add the card to your hand. However, if you activate this effect this turn, you cannot special summon anything from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except for Dark Synchro. Now, this really doesn't matter because most of the good extra deck Kewl monsters are going to be Dark except for Trackmaker, but we already summoned that card. We honestly don't care about getting Dark Locked for the rest of this turn, so that's really good. Now we're going to activate the effect of Soul Resonator on summon to get a search for Vision Resonator. We're going to use Soul Resonator and our Trackmaker as synchro material to synchro summon into Zarin the Chainbound Dragon. This card is awesome. We're going to use the effect of Vision Resonator in our hand. If this card is in your hand and there's a level 5 or higher Dark monster on the field, you get to summon this card. Zarin the Chainbound Dragon is a level 7 Dark monster, so we get to summon this card from our hand. We're going to do that. Now you're going to activate the second effect of JJ Kewl. You get to tribute a tuner monster on your field to summon a Kewl tuner monster from your deck. We're going to tribute our Vision Resonator on our field to summon Kewl Mix from our deck. The effect of Mix will activate on summon. This card will let you add a Kewl monster from your deck to your hand except for a level 2. We're going to get a search for another copy of Rico from our deck. The effect of Vision Resonator will also activate here. When this card is sent to the grave, you get to add a spell or trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck. This will let us search for the new trap card. This is Red Dragon Archfiend's chain. This card is searchable because this card does mention Red Dragon Archfiend. We're going to take Q and we're going to take Zarin the Chainbound Dragon and synchro summon. We're going to summon our back-to-back here. As material, back-to-back needs a tuner monster plus a synchro monster, so we can make this card with Q and Zarin. On top of that, this card is also a dark monster, so we're totally fine under the lock of Soul Resonator. Here we're going to set our Red Dragon Archfiend's chain and pass our turn. Now, when you activate your Red Dragon Archfiend's chain is incredibly variable and depends on what your opponent has on the field. What Red Dragon Archfiend's chain does is you get to activate this card and reveal any amount of monsters in your hand. Afterwards, you get to target effect monsters your opponent controls equal to the amount of tuners you revealed in your hand plus 1. The monsters that you target will lose 100 attack for each, but the most important part is that this card will negate their effects. This is really cool because we do have a tuner monster in our hand that's already public knowledge to our opponent. This means that if you activate Red Dragon Archfiend's chain immediately when your opponent has 2 monsters on the field, you get to negate both of them, which is really good. However, you have to remember, in this combo you also have 4 other cards in your opening hand, so they could also be more tuners. That's pretty probable in Cool Tune because you play so many tuner monsters in this deck, so you can negate even 3, 4, or 5 monsters. This effect also works incredibly well with Cool Tune Back-to-Back. What Cool Tune Back-to-Back does is when your opponent activates a monster effect, you get to target a tuner in your grave or your banishment, either add the card to your hand or summon it to the field. The monster could not be a level 10, but that really doesn't matter, all the good tuners are non-level 10. This is why this card works really well with Red Dragon Archfiend's Chain, because when your opponent activates a monster effect, if it's going to get rid of your back-to-back, you can activate your FaceTime Red Dragon Archfiend's Chain. This will negate that monster's effect and protect your back-to-back, but the effect of back-to-back will still activate. Because your opponent activated a monster effect, it will trigger the effect of back-to-back and target a tuner in your grave. You're going to target your Rico. Now you're going to summon the Rico to your field. Now back-to-back will also let you perform a synchro summon here. We're going to use the Mix in our field and the Rico in our hand to synchro summon into RS. Now the effect of Rico that we summoned from the grave off the effect of back-to-back will activate here. Because this card was summoned, you get to take a Cool Tune monster from your deck and add the card to your hand, however it cannot be a level 3. We're going to get a search for Cool Tune Clip here. We're going to activate the effect of Clip here. During your opponent's main phase, you get to summon this card from your hand, and if you do, you get to perform a synchro summon for a synchro tuner. You're going to take the Clip on your field and the Rico on your field to synchro summon into Crackle. Now the effect of Crackle will activate because this card was synchro summoned. You get to take a look at your opponent's extra deck and banish a card from there. Clip's effect will also activate because this card was sent to the grave as synchro material. You get to banish a random card from your opponent's extra deck, so this is pretty good. It's basically a double extra deck rip. The really cool thing about back-to-back is the effect to summon a tuner from your grave isn't once per turn, it's twice per turn. Now when your opponent activates another monster effect, you're going to activate the effect of back-to-back again. You're going to target your Zaren here. Now you're going to summon the Zaren to your field. Now you get to perform another synchro summon. What's really great about the effect of back-to-back is it lets you summon any synchro monster that you want. It doesn't have to be a synchro tuner. There's a lot of cards that let you synchro summon during the opponent's turn, like Cool Tune Synchro and Cool Tune Clip. However, when those cards let you synchro summon, they force you to synchro summon a synchro tuner. That makes back-to-back really good because now we're going to synchro summon a non-tuner synchro. What makes this even better is that even though Zaren is a synchro tuner, he has an effect to let him treat himself as a non-tuner if you synchro summon with him. This is really great because Crackle is a level 5 synchro tuner and we can treat Zaren as a non-tuner. Now you can take both monsters to synchro summon into the Crimson Dragon. Now this is really important for 2 reasons. The first one is because Crackle was sent to the grave while the card was synchro summoned, you get to summon it back to your field. Now again, you get to take a look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 2 more cards from there. So this is basically a 4 extra deck card rip, which is pretty insane. Now you're going to activate the effect of your Crimson Dragon and target your back-to-back. This card will return itself to the extra deck to summon a Dragon Synchro with the same level as the monster that you targeted on the field. Back-to-back is a level 10, so we get to summon a level 10 Dragon Synchro. We're going to summon Majestic Star Dragon here. You do have some other options like summoning Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon, but that card's pretty bad compared to Majestic Star. Crystal Clearwing once per turn can negate the effect of a spell or trap that your opponent activates, but that's really not too great. Majestic Star Dragon is so much better because when your opponent activates any card or effect, you get to tribute this card on the field. You get to negate whatever card your opponent activated, and then you get to destroy all the cards on their field. That's incredibly broken. This card is an Omni Negate that's also a board wipe. Now if your opponent doesn't activate any card or effect, then Majestic Star Dragon during the end phase will return itself to the extra deck. However, that really doesn't matter either because you can just summon it again next turn. However, that's totally fine because if this card returns to the extra deck during the end phase, it means your opponent didn't do anything. That means your opponent didn't establish a board on their own turn, which is awesome. It's also very easy to summon the Crimson Dragon again on your own turn to summon Majestic Star again. You also get 2 Omni Negates off the effect of RS and Majestic Star Dragon, as well as you also get the negate off your Red Dragon Archfiend's Chain. You also got to rip 4 cards out of your opponent's extra deck, which is really good because it's going to be their turn. The card will still return to their extra deck during the end phase, but it's not going to matter. A lot of decks are really going to struggle to establish a board if they're missing 3 of their best extra deck monsters. Cool Tune Red Dragon Archfiend is an incredibly fun deck to play, so if you guys want to give it a try, I would definitely recommend it. A lot of the Resonator tuners are really good, and their levels match up really well with the Cool Tune monsters. Vision Resonator being a level 2 is really great for Mix and Rico. The reason why is because if you want to summon RS, you can do that with Rico. If you want to summon Trackmaker, however, you can do that with Mix and Vision, and then you also get a double search. The Lock on Soul Resonator only letting you summon Dark Synchro from the extra deck also doesn't matter because we were going to do that anyways. Now, a really funny thing about the new Red Dragon Archfiend's Chain is it really doesn't feel like a Red Dragon Archfiend card, it feels like Cool Tune support. The reason why I say this is because to activate this card, all you have to do is reveal a Red Dragon Archfiend so you can use the card the turn it was set. This is why I said this card really doesn't feel like a trap card, it feels like a hybrid between a quick play spell and a continuous spell. You also don't have to play any of the main deck RDA cards, you can just play the regular RDA in your extra deck and that's it. Revealing monsters in your hand is also really good because Cool Tune searches a ton of times and you're always going to have a lot of tuners in your hand. Drawing this card when you go second is going to be really good when you have to play into a board because you can just set this card and now you can activate it later. You can normal summon a monster and if your opponent tries to negate that, you can chain your Red Dragon Archfiend's Chain. This card will basically force out 2 negates out of your opponent, but if they don't have 2 negates, you get to negate their entire board. Cool Tune is always going to have a ton of tuner monsters in your hand that you get to reveal, so you get to negate 3, 4, or maybe even 5 monsters. This is why I said this card doesn't even feel like a Red Dragon Archfiend card, it feels like Cool Tune support. Red Dragon Archfiend could definitely run this card, but it's way better in Cool Tune. It feels like Konami took a Red Dragon Archfiend card and they wanted to make a really good in Cool Tune. If that was their goal, then they definitely achieved it because this card is great in Cool Tune. I also find it really weird how Fiendish Chain is getting another retrain. This card already had a retrain before. It feels like every time Jack is getting support, we're always getting a new Fiendish Chain card. You have Fiendish Golem, which is a retrain for the original Fiendish Chain in the Crimson King structure deck. In Blazing Dominion, we have Fiend Piece Golem, which is like a monster retrain, a big piece Golem, and Fiendish Chain. And finally, we have this new Red Dragon Archfiend's Chain for a retrain in the Limit Over collection for the rivals. It's so weird how they keep retraining this card. I guess it does make sense because this is definitely one of Jack's most iconic cards. Fiendish Chain saw a ton of competitive play back in the day. So that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys for the next video.